months after that Sonos update, which was supposed to simply enhance clarity on the Sonos Arc, but seemingly brought issues to many people's systems, and we finally got an update. 14.18, we've been waiting for you. Hey guys, Amelia here, and after the 14.12 update, and actually after the 14.14 update, those of us in the Sonos community with a Sonos sub connected to a Sonos Arc, Ray or Beam with TruePlay turned on notice a reduced performance in the low end. Any Arc users will have also noticed a change in the volume curve as well. So let's quickly rewind back to July, when the 14.12 update was intended to make a number of positive changes. Fortunately, Sonos did somewhat address this in a community post, and in our last video we were able to help you guys work out some sort of temporary solution to get your system closer to what it was before. Turning TruePlay off, for example, seemed to work for a lot of you. However, we have been eagerly awaiting and hoping that Sonos would issue a real fix to get us back to where we were before, and it seems like our prayers have finally been answered. The new 14.18 update appears to have addressed these issues. So what exactly does this new update include? Well, you should find that the original volume settings have been restored, so you should be back to the same listening volumes as before. And most importantly, it has fixed the bug for those of you with a sub connected to your Arc, Beam or Ray with TruePlay enabled, so you should get back to a more powerful low-end performance. So how do we get these updates? Well, if you've already got auto updates turned on like we do, then step one should already be done. We came in this morning, checked our app, and it was all updated. If you're not sure whether it's already been done, just go to System and then click on the About My System tab and you'll see it there. If you have turned auto updates off, which you might have done after 14.12, then when you open the Sonos app, you should be greeted with a pop-up asking you to run an update. If you haven't, then head over to the App Store and run it from there. Once it's done, you'll need to quit the app and open it back up. From there, it should prompt you to run a second update, which should only take a few minutes. But there is a final step, and a very important final step. You now need to rerun TruePlay. Don't just toggle it on again if it's been off for the last few months, redo it. This update isn't prompting it automatically like it did after 14.12, which on the one hand is a bit annoying, but on the other hand, maybe Sonos have learned not to force people to make adjustments to their system. We can hope at least. Now, I know we gave you guys some tweaks and settings to try out a few months ago to try and bring the performance back to where we wanted it, but now we would suggest removing those, running TruePlay again, and seeing where you're at with the performance. You can of course go back in and make some slight alterations you personally would like. For example, some people will still want to bump up the sub by +1 or +2, but on the whole, you should have to do a lot less messing around in the app to get a performance that you're happy with. Lou, we've done this over in the showroom, haven't we, and found that it's back up to pre-update.
Yeah, sorry to jump in, guys. I just wanted to get involved in this conversation. Now, I will just add that there was a level of added panic maybe around that original update.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
Well, communication was poor and there were issues for some of your setups. The Arc didn't lose volume, for example. You could still listen at the same volume as before, you just needed to bump it up a little bit more to achieve that same volume output. But I think Sonos have taken feedback on board. I think they say in their forum post that there was a clear preference for the original volume settings.
Yeah, and now after that update, they have restored the volume back up and that's been noticeable.
Yeah, and obviously the more important fix for the sub and TruePlay is great. In our original video, I mentioned that we hadn't been impacted to the same extent as others, but it's great news anyway.
Yeah, I think it's also good that we still got improvements to the Arc 2 and they didn't just scrap that.
Yeah, it means that we do now have a far better sounding system. We mentioned in our initial video on this topic that we noticed this improvement to the clarity most in busier scenes with lots of layers. So this should have a positive impact on overall performance. We also noted that we think they've maybe felt like this improvement was needed following the launch of the Beam Gen 2, which we think pushed close to the vocal and center channel performance of the Arc. But that's just our speculation.
Though they did say this in a forum post, so read into that as you will.
Yeah, I think what we've learned from this all is that communication was a problem here from Sonos, and that caused a lot more anger and backlash. In our last video, we had a conversation around Sonos making adjustments to existing products in our homes with no warning or chance to say no thanks. While we're now really happy with the performance of our setups and the enhancements to the Arc are a welcome improvement, I think giving people the choice is still the way to go.
We're still hoping that they'll add a toggle in the app to revert back to previous performance if you don't like the adjustments, like TruePlay almost. But software updates are a massive perk of the Sonos system, and that's the reason we've got an extra hour battery life on the Move, AirPlay 2, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And those were really welcome improvements.
Right, that's enough of you. Whatever your stance, hopefully this new update solves your frustrations and you're happy with the performance of your setup. As annoying as some of us have found this process, and trust us, we've seen the comments, it is nice to see the community is being heard and Sonos are making necessary updates based on the feedback from its users. If you found this video helpful, then be sure to subscribe for plenty more Sonos content coming soon. We're always keeping a really close eye on updates like these to keep you informed. Let us know in the comments how you get on with the latest update and how much of an impact this makes to your setup. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.